What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as you tune in and you check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to react to some statements that LeBron James made about Jay Z being his role model, right? And Jason Whitlock was discussing this on his show, right? And I thought Jason Whitlock made some interesting points. And you know, now that I hear what LeBron James had to say about Jay Z being his role model, you can kind of see like the way that Jay Z has operated throughout his career, and some things that people say about him are the same things that like some of the same characteristics that that LeBron James had. And some people in Jay Z in his past complain, or they say like how Jay Z was kind of like he kind of like stabbed people in the back, and he did some underhanded things, right? And so the same thing go for LeBron James. Like in a lot of ways, like LeBron James is a very passive, aggressive type person, and he has done some underhanded things that have stabbed different players in the back, and did some things, so they kind of operate the same way, right? Now, I'm gonna play the audio from what Jason Whitlock, from his show, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna give some more of my input on how these guys kind of operate the same way. And you know, I don't know. I think the way they operate, I think is going to eventually, like, karma is going to catch up to both of these guys. But let me play the audio and let you know what I think.
But my initial reaction when LeBron James is talking about, when I think about anything that I'm doing, I want to make Jay Z proud. That really struck me, and it really made me sad that LeBron James is representative of a lot of young black men in the society, and hell, maybe even some white kids. That Jay Z is basically their Jesus Christ. Because LeBron, in a proper mindset, LeBron, if he had known his father, his earthly father, perhaps someone would have introduced him to his heavenly father, and LeBron James at age 41, 42 wouldn't be talking about, hey, I'm hoping that my actions make Jay-Z proud. He would be talking about, I'm hoping my actions make Jesus Christ proud.
All right, so let me stop it right there, right? And I think, like, somebody like Jay Z would not have been able to come into, and I think the fact that LeBron James come from a single parent without a father, I think that kind of played into it. While he's so easily influenced, right? He come from a modest background, right? So him and his mother had some hard times financially, when LeBron was very young. So somebody like Jay Z would be able to influence him, right? When you think about Michael Jordan coming from, he was raised by both his parents, his mother and his father. Both parents worked, right? Then you think about somebody like Kobe Bryant, come from a two-parent household. His father had experience with playing in the league. Magic Johnson come from a two-parent household. So LeBron James was just somebody who was ripe for the pickings for somebody like Jay Z, and I don't think that it was a coincidence that Jay Z was brought into the presence of LeBron James, because I just think that like Jay Z, that's what they were trying to promote then, right? That um fast money, fast car lifestyle, right? And so the generation before that understood that there are no free lunches, and so if somebody's coming up to you as a man and just want to give you things and give you advice and take you under their wing, you're going to be skeptical, because like your father lets you know from the jump, like, ain't no such thing as a free lunch. Anytime somebody giving you something, they are going to expect something in return. And coming from a two-parent household, that's what you learn. You learn that, like, everything you get you're going to have to work for. So nobody's just going to give you anything, right? So, but the fact that LeBron James come from a single parent household and they was coming from humble beginnings, he was ripe for the picking, basically.
Or at the very least, he would be talking about, hey man, I hope my actions make Michael Jordan proud. Jay-Z is a cult-like and occult-like, do it thou wilt like, Aleister Crowley type, influenced by the occult, the satanic agenda. There's pictures and information about Jay-Z and spirit cooking and his relationship with what's her name? Marina Abramovich, Hollywood's secret goddess, satanic goddess. That's Jay-Z and her. LeBron James is taking his cues, his lead. And look, that's kind of interesting. For those of you that are just listening and can't watch, we just showed a picture of LeBron with Marina Abramovich, and all of his hair is cut off. And now he is here later in life as G. Craig Lewis, wearing the hairstyle of one of these African satanic warrior type figures. And so LeBron James, if we're wondering why, here we are, whatever, a week or two into free agency, and LeBron James is still addicted to attention, still dragging out his free agency decision, still milking it for every bit of publicity that he can. Why is he still doing that? The NBA, Adam Silver has acknowledged, they can't start formulating their schedule until LeBron James makes a free agency decision, their television schedule, their overall schedule, until LeBron James until he makes a decision. Adam Silver quoted yesterday, we have to finish the schedule, and where LeBron plays affects the schedule. It will influence how we set the schedule, opening week, Christmas. So I need him to make a decision. LeBron James has a different agenda. He wants as much attention as he can get. That's the rap music version.
Yeah, I just think that, all right, like I said, when LeBron James, the way he operates is basically, and Jason Whitlock just said it, it's more so geared towards him getting attention, right? And he is somebody, in my opinion, like who has chosen to seek money and fame over wisdom, and he's a guy who has not really grown up. He's not grown up, and I don't know. I think his handlers around him, the people that have been put around him, are people who have like stunted his growth. People always talk about like how intelligent LeBron James is, but then you see some of the decisions that that he has made throughout his career, and it just leaves you to wonder. Like if you know the history of basketball, and you see how other athletes in the past have had success, then why don't you just duplicate that? But he hasn't done that throughout his career. He's done things, and because I don't know, people think or telling him that he is special and he's different, he thought that he would be able to get away with it. But I just think that like I said, LeBron James choosing Jay-Z as a role model, just not wise. It just wasn't wise. And Jay-Z, you know, what people say about Jay-Z as far as him, like his character and some of the things that he do, he's not a trustworthy person. He's not a loyal person. LeBron James have been criticized for the same thing. Like when LeBron James had that beef with what's that guy name? The rapper. That's the light-skinned guy down that rap. Almost had his name. Him and Kendrick Lamar was having a beef or something, and not like us. And so LeBron James was dancing to his record, right? And so he took it as an offense because him and LeBron James was close, and so I could picture the guy name, but I don't even. I mean, I could picture his face, but I can't remember his name. Oh, Drake. Yeah. All right. Thanks. Yeah. So Drake is like, Drake took that as betrayal. Like, how are you going to be dancing to this guy's song, calling me a pedophile, when me and you was boys, and so, and that's just one example of how people feel like LeBron James is not real, like he's not really loyal. It's all about him and his agenda, right? And same thing with Jay-Z. People come out and say that Jay-Z is not Jay-Z hasn't been loyal. People who have helped him and set him up to get to where he turned his back on those people, right? So that's just the way they operate. And I just think that karma is going to come back on both of these guys. And so I'm not surprised that LeBron finds this guy Jay-Z to be his role model. You know, um, it just really, just in my opinion, just speaks to his character, and it all and it and the way he lives. Like, he's got to be seen. He's got to have all the attention and everything, right? And so I don't know. I just think that like, this karma is going to come back on, but I'm not surprised. So uh, that's my thoughts on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. And also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.